start, we want to make sure we have all of our safety gear in place. So wearing your protective eyeglasses, I'm going to make sure my hair is tied up. I'm going to make sure I have no loose clothing on my body, especially on my arms that can get in the way, that can touch the hot pipe. And so I have a pair of gloves. You want to make sure they don't have a plastic coating on them, because if you do touch the metal, it can melt. And I have a bucket of water handy, and I have some forms if I need to clamp my wood pieces onto the forms to make a shape. So what we're going to do first is make sure that the pipe is hot enough. So with my bucket of water and a rag, I'm just going to drop some water on top. You can see it sizzling off, so we know it's hot and it's ready to go. In the pipe, I have a little cap on the top to keep the pieces pushed down into the water, so I can remove that. And I'm going to take one of my saturated solid wood strips, put on my gloves. Now I can start bending. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep my material moving constantly. I never want to hold it still because it can burn. And I'm just going to slowly rock it back and forth, putting a little bit of pressure but not too much. And as it heats up, you'll feel the fibers in the wood start to relax, and you'll see it starting to bend on its own. So as we're adding the heat and the moisture, those fibers are becoming more flexible. If you find the underside of your piece is getting too dry, you can just dip it into the water to re-wet it, and then continue working. So if I dip my piece of material back in the water, I can actually start bending it on the other side to make it a little bit more flexible, which is great if I'm trying to create a really tight radius. If you put too much pressure and try and bend it too quickly, the fibers can snap and you'll get a big crack across your strip of wood. And you can see now it's becoming a lot more flexible. And I'm just going to continue soaking my material, because once it burns, it'll be really hard to sand that out after. Another style of hot pipe bender is this electric version. You can see it has a different shape on the end, and this allows you to get a tighter radius on your wood strip. These are a few examples of pieces that have been bent, that are completely dried, and they're holding this shape. So with this one, you use the dial to turn it on to get the correct setting. Again, I'm going to use the water to test it. And I can see that the water is evaporating, so it's ready to go. And I can take another one of my strips and start moving it across the pipe.